Hi, this is Tamara from mooglyblog.com, and in this video, I'm going to be demonstrating how to crochet Ellie's 6-inch Afghan Square, which is a free pattern you'll find on mooglyblog.com. Please go to the link in the description where you will find both right and left-handed video tutorials, as well as the written pattern and all of the supplies you need. To make this pattern, I used a USJ 6mm crochet hook. This one is by Susan Bates. It's a twist and lock. I also used 40 yards total of Red Heart with Love in 3 colors. I used white, corn silk, and lettuce, but of course you can use whichever colors you like. And for today's demo, I will be switching out the white for a blue so it's a little bit easier to see. As you can see here, Ellie's 6-inch Afghan Square is a beautiful and simple floral Afghan block. At 6 inches along each diameter, there are 19 stitches per side, and you can use this to make any project you like. Mix and match with other squares to make a blanket, a tote, whatever it is you like to make. Let's go ahead and get started making Ellie's 6-inch Afghan Square. Round 1 begins with our first color, whichever color you'd like to use, and a magic circle. To make a magic circle, I like to take the yarn and go over the first finger of my non-hook hand twice towards me. So there's once and twice. So now the tail end of the yarn is facing me, draped over my finger. Then I'm going to insert my hook under both of those loops right along my finger and use the end of my hook to grab this loop that's furthest back and pull it just under the tip of this one. You can see how I've secured that end with my fingers. There we go. Then I'm going to yarn over with the yarn attached to the skein and pull through. This will lock my magic circle together and I can start crocheting into the ring. Now, this pattern, after making the magic circle, begins with a chainless starting double crochet into the ring. So to do that, I'm going to pull up the loop on my hook about to the height of a double crochet. I'm going to secure the top of that loop with my finger and yarn over with the loop itself. Then I insert my hook under that magic circle or magic ring, under both of those loops. I want to make sure I go under the one that's around my finger and the one that's draped over the top of my finger. Then I yarn over again, pull that loop up and through the magic ring, then yarn over, pull through that loop and behind the yarn over, and now I will finally release the top of that loop to yarn over and pull through to finish the chainless starting double crochet. If you'd like to see that again, I do have a dedicated tutorial for that on the YouTube channel. After making the chainless starting double crochet, we work 11 double crochets into the ring. If you prefer to skip the chainless starting double crochet, you can instead start with a chain 3 for a standard double crochet substitute, or you can use whichever kind of double crochet substitute you like to begin with. So now I'm just going to continue to put those double crochets into the ring. Every time I make one of these stitches, I want to go into the ring and make sure that I'm capturing both that ring itself and that tail end inside the bottom of each of these stitches. So continue crocheting into the ring until you have a total of 12 double crochets, including that first double crochet that you made. Now I have 12 double crochets worked into the ring, but before I join with a slip stitch, I'm going to take that tail end that we've worked each of our stitches over and just give it a tug. While I do that, I like to stabilize the ring with my other hand and just sort of hold it in place. Pull gently through, and the center of your ring should close right up. When you go to weave in your ends, make sure that when you're working on the back of your fabric and you're weaving in this end, that you go in both directions to really lock down that magic ring so it doesn't come undone. Now that we've made our stitches and closed our ring, we can insert our hook in the top of that chainless starting double crochet, or the chain 3, or whatever double crochet substitute you used for the first stitch, and simply slip stitch to finish that first round. And that's what your Ellie's Afghan Square should look like after round 1. For round 2, we continue here with our first color, or you can change colors if you'd like. We're going to start with a chain 1 and then a single crochet right into that first stitch, the one that we joined to. There we go. Then we're going to work 3 double crochets into the next stitch. So we go right into that next stitch for a total of 3 double crochets. So there's 1 and 2 and 3. So now we begin the repeat that will take us the rest of the way around round 2. So this is the section that starts with the asterisk if you're following along with the written pattern. We single crochet in the next stitch and work 3 double crochets in the stitch after that. 1 and 2 and 3, all into that same stitch. And then we do that again. Single crochet in the next, 3 double crochets in the stitch after that, all the way around until you get to the end of round 2. So this is what your project should look like when we're almost finished with round 2. You can see there are 6 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in our little flower here. Now, I haven't joined yet because the way I like to join when we switch colors is a little different than joining with a slip stitch. You can see I've still got the active loop there, and I'm going to go ahead and cut my yarn. Then I will simply pull up on that loop, right on through the stitch, and then I get my yarn needle. And I like to do a seamless join or seamless finish so that it just looks really nice in my finished project and you don't see a little slip stitch and knot there. So what I'm going to do now with the yarn on my yarn needle is I'm going to go ahead and find not the next stitch, which would be that single crochet right there that normally we would join to, but I'm actually going to seamless join to the first double crochet that we made right there. I'm going to do that by inserting my needle under those top 2 loops, same place I'd put my hook, pull that loop through, and now I want to pull that loop right there that I'm pulling through to about the size of the other loops at the top of other stitches. You can just eyeball it, that looks about right. Then I'm going to come back down into that stitch I came out of. So you can see there's the strand we went around with. I'm going to go right down into the center of that stitch between the front and back loops with my yarn needle. And you can see how from the top that now looks exactly like another stitch. And because we skipped that single crochet underneath it, we've maintained our stitch count. Then I can go ahead and weave in my end just as I normally would. And then we'll be ready for round 3. For round 3, we're going to be joining our next color with a standing single crochet in the back loop only of any petal's center double crochet. Then we're going to continue to work the rest of this round in the back loop only. So first things first, let's find that center double crochet. We can pick any of the petals here. You can see they're calling them petals. They sort of stick out like a flower. And remember, we made those sets of 3 double crochets. Well, the center one will be the center, the middle double crochet of any set of 3. Then we need to look at the top of that stitch and find the back loop only. When we look at the top of a stitch, there are always those 2 loops at the top that look a little bit like a V. The front loop is the one closest to you, and the back loop is the one furthest away. It doesn't matter if we turn it. Now this is the front one, and this is the back one. However, for this square, we're always going to be working from the right side. So we want to find that center double crochet, and we're going to be working under that back loop only. So now we need to join with our standing single crochet. To make a standing single crochet, rather than starting with a slip knot, I like to just loop my yarn over like this and put it over my hook. You can see the tail end is in front, and now I can just sort of hold that tail end there. I like to avoid extra knots in my project when I can and just weave in my ends really well. If you have a different way you like to join, you can join with a slip stitch and chain 1, whichever you prefer. But we're going to find, now that we've got that little loop held on our hook here, we find that center double crochet in that back loop only. And we insert our hook under the back loop only. We still want to work away from us under that back loop. Yarn over, pull up our loop, and then I give it a little zhuzh, bring those loops a little closer together there. Then yarn over and pull through both of those loops. And now we've attached to the back loop only of a center double crochet with a single crochet. Now we can just go ahead and drop that tail, and again, weave it in when we're all done with our project or when we're done with this round, whichever you prefer to do. So after that, we are going to continue to work in the back loop of each stitch around. So we want to work a half double crochet in the next stitch, which would be another double crochet. That brings us to a single crochet. And we put 3 double crochets in the back loop only of that single crochet. So there's 1 and 2 and 3. Now we're at the next set of 3 double crochets. So we work a half double crochet in the first one. Oh, let me get that through. There we go. And then we begin the repeat that we take all the way around. Single crochet in the next one, which should be a center double crochet there. You can see right there, that's the center of a group of 3. Half double crochet in the next. That brings us to a single crochet, so we work 3 double crochets in there. 1 and 2. Oop, there we go. And 3. And then we finish that repeat with that half double crochet in the next double crochet. That brings us back to a center one, and we do that repeat again all the way around till we get to the end of round 3, and we should have a total of 36 stitches. So we finish our repeat on round 3 with a half double crochet in that last stitch right before the stitch that we joined to with our standing single crochet. So to finish up round 3, we just need to slip stitch right into that first stitch we made. Then we're ready to begin round 4. For round 4, we're going to stick with our second color and chain 1. Then we're going to work a single crochet in each of the first 2 stitches. So there's 1 and 2. Then we're going to skip the next stitch and work 5 double crochets in the stitch after that. If you look, you'll see that puts us right in the center of this set of 3 double crochets. So we skip the next and come to that center double crochet and put 5 double crochets into there. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. All right into that same stitch right there. Then we're going to skip the next stitch and single crochet in the stitch after that. Then we begin the repeat that will continue around all the way around for round 4. We single crochet in the next 2 stitches, 1, 2, skip the next stitch, 5 double crochets in the next, and we can check our place. We're in the center of a set of 3. So we want to put 5 double crochets all into the top of that same stitch. So there's 2, 3, 4, and 5. That one got a little caught there. Let me try that 5th one again. There we go. There's our 5th double crochet. So then we skip the next stitch and single crochet in the stitch after that. Then we begin that repeat again. Single crochet in the next 2, skip 1, 5 double crochet in the next, skip 1, single crochet in the one after that. So continue that all the way around until you have a total of 48 stitches with 6 sets of 5 double crochet all the way around. So here we are at the end of row 4, and we can see those 6 petals. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. After making round 4, you'll want to break your yarn if you're following the same color scheme and bring back color A to make round 5. For round 5, we're going to join with a standing double crochet. For this, you can start with the twisted loop I showed before or with a full slip knot if you prefer. Let's go ahead and put a slip knot on our hook. And then I'm going to hold on to the tail end of my yarn with my non-hook fingers and yarn over again. Then I'm ready to join. But let's look at the pattern. We're going to be joining in an unworked front loop only of any double crochet in the center of a 3 double crochet petal of round 2. There's a whole lot going on there. So before we do that, let's stop and take a look at our project. Round 2 was our second row in our first color. So we can find that right here. And we know that we had those sets of 3 double crochets. So we found the center one to join to. This time we want to find that same center double crochet, but now we've got that unworked front loop. Remember when we worked that first round in our new color, we went into the back loops only. That means those front loops we can see are right there, still ready and waiting for us. So that right there, the center one of any, could be any of these, but find the center double crochet and that front loop. That is the loop we're going to join to. So we can pick our hook back up here. We've got our slip knot on our hook, I'm going to just stabilize it by holding onto that tail end, and then I can yarn over again, and then I'm going to find that loop right there. I'm going to come under that loop, yarn over, pull up a loop. Then I like to give it just another little zhuzh, make it dance a little bit, so all those loops come nice and close together. Then I can yarn over, pull through that first loop and behind the yarn over, and then yarn over again and pull through to finish. If you'd like to see more videos of this, again, I do have separate video tutorials for this on the YouTube channel. Then we are going to work a chain 4. So this one's going to be kind of hanging out here. It's going to be a little loose, but don't worry about it. We'll tack it all down as we come around. So if you need to put it down, you can, but we just want to chain 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4, just like that. Then we're going to single crochet in the next round 4 petals center double crochet. Again, a lot of words, but it's pretty simple. Round 4 was the last round we made, our previous round right here. We know we had our petals here had 5 double crochets, so we just want to find that center one right there. And then we can work a single crochet right into it. This time, of course, we're going under both of those loops at the top, because it hasn't said to do otherwise. There we go. So we had our standing double crochet right there in that front loop. Then we chained 4, and we came all the way up here to single crochet in the center of a set of 5. Then we're going to chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we're ready to begin the repeat again, the section that starts with the asterisk in the written pattern. We're going to work a double crochet in the next unworked front loop only of the double crochet in round 2. That's that center one of that next section right there. We want to jump right over here, find that next set of 3, find the center one, and double crochet in that unused front loop right there. You have to kind of work those off right there. If it's a little loose, take your time with it. Make sure your chains aren't getting twisted. Then we chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4, and find the next center double crochet of a set of 5 in the previous round, and single crochet right in the top of that one, like that. So you can see these are sort of skimming right along the top of the previous row, just anchored down in those front loops and in those single crochets. Let's do it again. We're going to chain 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come down here, find that next set of 3. You can see how it's just on the other side of this petal right here. Find that unused front loop. Right there, we're going to want to put a double crochet there, so don't forget to yarn over first like I just did. Then we can put our double crochet right in there. Just take your time with it, and then chain 4 again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then we come back to our next set of 5, find the middle one, and single crochet again. And we just continue that all the way around, so we'll finish up with a chain 4, and then join that very first standing double crochet we made at the beginning. So here I am at the end of round 5. You can see how these chain 4s have really surrounded and really framed out each one of these petals. So when you get to the last one, you can cut your yarn and again do a seamless join to the second stitch of the round. Or you can just join as you normally do, whichever you prefer. Just want to make sure that my chains don't get twisted. Get that sewn down, and then we'll be ready for round 6. Round 6, we're going to be joining our next color with another standing double crochet. So I've already got my slip knot on my hook. We're going to be joining to any double crochet right here in the previous round, but at the same time, we want to work through the single crochet right behind it. This is what's going to tack these down so they're not loose in front of our work anymore. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to hold onto my tail end here and yarn over. Find any one of these double crochets that I want to work into. First, I'll insert my hook into the double crochet, and then I will find that single crochet right behind it. It will be the center of a set of 3. I'll go through that as well. Yarn over, pull the loop through both of those stitches, and then finish the double crochet as before. Pull through that loop and behind the yarn over, and then yarn over and pull through that loop and the initial slip knot. Then we're ready to begin by working into round 4. And this is a section that again starts with our asterisk, so this is our repeat. So we're working into round 4. That's going to be our last yellow round there. So we can go ahead and just push that chain 4 right out of the way if you like. We're going to double crochet in the next stitch. Make sure, oops, you know what? Let me make sure I put that in the right spot, because some of these stitches really like to hide. So yes, there it is. That's where we went through both. Want to make sure we go into that next one. Double crochet in the next stitch. There we go, like so. Then we're going to half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1 and 2. And then you'll note that this brings us back to that single crochet that we worked in the previous round. So now we want to single crochet in that round 5 single crochet. Oop, my yarn got in front of my hook. Keep that in the back. There we go. Like so. Then we're back to working in round 4. Skip over that one, of course, with the single crochet worked into it. Half double crochet in the next stitch. Half double crochet in the next stitch. And then double crochet in the next stitch. Then we're going to double crochet in both of these stitches again. We've come to another one of those loose double crochets in the previous round. So we want to yarn over. First we'll go through that double crochet and through that next single crochet right behind it and tack that down. We pull that loop up through both of those stitches, and now they're good and stuck together. So then we go back behind that chain 4 and we're able to begin that repeat again. So let's do it together one more time. Double crochet in the next stitch. There we go. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, then single crochet in the next round 5 single crochet. Just flip that right back up in front of us. There we go. Like so. And then push that chain 4 out of the way again. Half double crochet in the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, double crochet in the next stitch. And finally, that brings us back to our first one here. I've got my ends still sticking out. You probably want to weave these in first. Let's just tuck them out of the way for now. And then we're going to, of course, work our double crochet through the top of that double crochet and the single crochet right behind it. So we're going to repeat that all the way around. And of course, when you get to that last repeat, you'll end right before you work through both of those stitches. So at the end of round 6, you should have turned your project into a nice little circle. So in round 7, we're going to start turning it into a square. We're going to start with a chainless starting double crochet, just like we worked into the magic ring, but now we're just going to work it right into that first stitch, the same one we joined to. We pull up our loop to the height of a double crochet, secure the top of the loop, yarn over with the loop, insert into that stitch, yarn over, pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through that loop and behind the yarn over, and then yarn over and pull through the last 2 loops to finish the stitch. Again, you can use whatever double crochet substitute if you prefer. Then we chain 2, 1 and 2, and double crochet right back into that same stitch. Like so. There we go. Then we begin the repeat that's going to take us around the rest of our square. We start with a double crochet in the next stitch, then a half double crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, and pull up a little bit more yarn there. Got a little too much tension on it. There we go. And 3, like so. Then we single crochet in the next 3 stitches. 1, 2, 3. Half double crochet in the next 3. 1, 2, 3. Double crochet in the next stitch. and then it's time for another corner. In the next stitch, we will double crochet, chain 2, there we go, 1 and 2, and then double crochet again right in that same stitch. There we are. So now you can see those chain 2s will be our corners, and we've made one side of our square. So we need to repeat those same series of stitches for all 4 sides. So after making a corner, we double crochet in the next stitch, half double crochet in the next 3 stitches, 1, 2, 3, single crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, half double crochet in the next 3, 1, 2, 3, and double crochet in the next, like so. Then, of course, it's time for our next corner, which is always going to be double crochet, chain 2, and double crochet, all in that same stitch. So now we've got 2 pretty well straight sides, so we just repeat that for the other 2 sides and join to that first double crochet we made. So this is what your square should look like at the end of round 7, with a total of 52 stitches and 4 chain 2 spaces, 1 at each corner. The last stitch we made was the double crochet right before the first corner we made, so we ended up slip stitching to that first double crochet or double crochet substitute. For round 8, it's quite simple. We chain 1, and we're going to work a single crochet in each stitch around. We're in a stitch, so let's go ahead and put a single crochet there. And then whenever we come to a chain 2 corner, we're going to work 2 single crochets, 1, 2, followed by chain 2, 1, 2, and 2 more single crochets, all into that corner. And then, of course, we just single crochet in each stitch. So once again, for round 8, we single crochet in each stitch, and then every time we come to a chain 2, we work 2 single crochets, chain 2, and 2 single crochets right into that chain 2 space. So I'll see you when we've finished round 8 with a total of 68 single crochets and 4 chain 2 spaces. So this is what your square should look like after round 8. Now, if you've already reached 6 inches, you don't need to add any more stitches. However, if you're not quite at 6 inches yet, there's one more round you can add, included in the instructions. For round 9, you can bring back color B or whatever color you'd like to finish up with, continuing to go with color C if that's what you'd prefer. However, for this one, I'm going to join with another standing single crochet. So once again, I will just loop my yarn over here and drop it onto my hook. And then I'm going to be working this round in the back loop only. I didn't need a whole lot more space to get to that 6 inches, and this will just really sort of set off that last color. Now again, we can join to any stitch. We'll join a couple stitches here before a corner. We're going to go under just that back loop only. Yarn over and pull up our loop, and yarn over and pull through 2 to have joined with our single crochet. So for this round, it's much like the last one where we work a single crochet in the back loop only of each stitch. And then whenever we come to that chain 2 in the corner, we're going to handle that just a little bit differently as well. Instead of 2 single crochets, chain 2, 2 single crochets, we'll just do 1 single crochet, chain 2, and 1 more single crochet. For those, of course, we go right into that chain 2 space, then we find that next stitch, and it's back to working in the back loop only to single crochet in each stitch around. You can see how that looks here and how nicely that really sets off that final round in our original. And that's how to crochet Ellie's 6-inch Afghan square. Once again, this is a free pattern you'll find on mooglyblog.com, featuring Red Heart with Love. I hope you've enjoyed watching this tutorial, and don't forget to like and subscribe.